episode on this one. Today, I have amazing guests with me, and I chose them for a reason because I know that people relate more to stories that are true, not just textbooks, So today, we are reacting to an episode we did about abstinence and virginity, and we're talking about being sexually pure. Okay, so what it means to be sexually pure, how a young man can keep his ways pure, and I am so blessed to have examples that we can learn from. Okay, so I have Mr. and Mrs. Velters in the studios with me. Annie, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Ferdinand, thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you.
And today, I will not introduce him. I'll let him introduce himself because it's going to be fun with him.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Franklin, and I'm here to talk about sexual purity.
It's going to be fun. It's really going to be fun. Okay, so what does it mean if we want to go into a bit of definition of what sexual purity is? To you, Anita, what is sexual purity?
To me personally, sexual purity have to do with the state of your heart between you and God. As we all know, God expects from us to be holy, but when it comes to sexual purity, I feel like most of the young people or even elder generation, we do not understand why and what sexual purity is and for what cause it is good or not good. So to me personally, it is an act of submission to God. Sexual purity is to me an act of submission to God.
Yeah, okay. Ferdinand, well, what would you say about that?
I think I agree with Anita.
Yeah.
It really has to come from the heart.
Yeah.
If you don't know where it comes from, why you would do it, then it's very easy to fall the trap or eat the forbidden fruit.
What is sexual purity for you?
For me, sexual purity, I'm a literal man. I believe sexual purity is abstaining or abstaining or not engaging in the wrong type of sex or doing sexual activities wrongly. Yeah, so for me, sexual purity is having sex the way it should be done.
Okay.
Or engaging into sexiness the appropriate way. Because there is sexiness.
Yeah.
And then there is a way it should be done.
Okay.
So doing it rightly is being sexually pure.
Okay. I get the angle from which you are coming from. So how can a young person keep their lives pure in this day and age where sexuality and nudity has become so common? On TV, you could be watching just a simple advert and you see a half-naked woman. How can a young person keep their ways pure and be clean, like be holy for the Lord? Annie?
That's really a deep and a big question.
Yeah.
Because as you already said, for us in our generation, it's so easy to see nudity or any form of perversion around us. And for me personally, it comes back to the question of why should you be pure, or why is it important to be abstinent?
Yeah.
And so it starts with the question, asking yourself, why is it important to God? Why should it be important to me? When you find the reason of your why, I think it's a big motivation to start living pure.
Yeah.
So that's for me the first step. And then the second step is also, it's a lot of things. For me, the second thing is also having a relationship with God. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
A personal, knowing your why and your why you're doing certain things.
Yeah.
And from out of there, then you start taking steps of wanting to live a life that is pleasing to God.
Yeah.
So I think the first step is knowing your why, and the second is having relationship with God. And I bet like you will know when the Holy Spirit tells you like this is not good for you, change it. Then you know that okay, I have to change it, I have to stop it.
Yeah.
So it comes out of relationship actually to keep yourself pure. Yeah.
So you think that once you have a relationship with God, you will never have the feeling of doing something? Ferdinand?
Never have to feel. Well, I think I agree with Anita, but there's also a third thing you need to add, and that's just taking practical measures. It's getting away from Instagram, getting away from all the things. Do the possible block if you need it. It will make your life easier.
Yeah.
It will make your life easier, as it is it is cheap. It is around every corner, so to say. So also take yourself in consideration.
You just have to set your boundaries and know when and what to do what.
It's a third step. First, you need to start with a call with yourself, like Anita said, and then the third one is just practicalities.
Yeah. Doctor.
For me, the most important thing is the decision making, the ability to decide that. All right, now it's time to cut those things off. It's the first step, but it's not a difficult step. It's easy to decide. It's easy to say, oh, from today on, I'm not going to do this thing. I'm not going to care. I'm not going to do so and so. But the difficult part comes when you fall back into that thing. The ability to pick yourself up is really difficult. And that is where most men, most women, everybody tend to get it wrong. That if they fall on, let me continue for a while and then get back up. So getting down, it's like walking on the snow. You don't know when you fall, but you always know when you stand back up.
Come on.
You always know, okay, this time I have to stand. You have to strategize. Okay, I have to put my hand here and I have to stand up. That you're aware of. But falling back into temptation, it's sometimes not, I won't say not your fault, but maybe lack of your own strength, lack of your own spirit. But then standing back up, deciding again, okay, I have fallen once, but it's fine. I will be stronger next time. That is the difficult part. And that is where all of us, me included, feel it.
Yeah.
Sorry for cutting you, but I want to add something to that. And that's why I think that it is not by your strength, to be honest, because it's easy to fall into something. And for some people, you can rise up back again. But the goal is to cut something, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to cut something, it's not just by, okay, next time I'll be stronger. That's where that the strength of the Lord, that you have to depend and give your struggles to God. Like you have to. Sometimes I think it's a human nature where we want to take control over certain things. We want to show that, oh, I can rise by myself. I got this under control. But there is a point that you will know the situation will prove to you you can't get up back by yourself or by your own strength. So to me personally, I think also one thing that is important is surrendering things to God. Let God heal you from things. Let God help you. And in practical way to say it is that it's not that you are looking out, okay, I don't want to fall, I don't want to do this, but you are looking to God. You are more in tune with God, and that helps because you can set any boundaries around you, but still by a certain point that you will fall. So that's why I think it's most important also to invite God in our struggles or any form of perversion. Invite God in it. That Lord, you know that this is beyond me. I cannot save myself. So
I agree with you. Inviting God does not take temptations away.
No.
Inviting God does not mean you will not fall again.
No.
Inviting God means that you also have to put in your own effort. Even when God is there. God will only help you if you are willing. Only if you are willing to help yourself.
I agree.
God will not come and help you when you're not willing. And that decision to be willing to help yourself is difficult. Even if the thing, where I'm coming from is, I'm not coming from the point that it's you have to surrender to God. You have to let God take control. That is true. That is 100% true. But you must make your own percentage effort.
Of course.
And that percentage that is on you is difficult.
That's true. That's true.
It's difficult.
Annie, you made mention of the fact that you need to know why it's important to be sexually pure. What do you think are some of the reasons why it is so important for this generation to understand the importance of being pure, of staying pure?
There are different reasons for that. And I think the first thing is acknowledging and seeing that it is something that God requested from us as his creation. That he expects us to live in a certain way to his standards. So it's a command. It is something God has set for us. Secondly, why is it important for yourself? You are not defiling yourself and degrading yourself to a certain act or something. So by not doing that, you are placing a worth on yourself.
Worth,
And that's not something that God does. It's something that you can decide also to do for yourself. I'm putting more value to myself by not doing this certain thing. And then the third aspect is also a spiritual aspect, is that sometimes we forget, okay, having sex or any form of perversion, we think it's only a physical act, but the spiritual implications, you don't see it, but I'm telling you, it will haunt you spiritually, because you are creating a bond with someone. Even though you don't like the person, you have created something with that person. You don't see it, but I can just bet on it that in the future you will see the implications of it. So I feel like maybe our generation have not yet understood like the spiritual aspects of it, because we know, okay, it's a sin. But okay, if it's a sin, what does it do? What's the meaning? Voila. And I think when we get to understand why we should not put ourselves in unpleasant situations, then we will try to abstain from it. At least then you have an understanding, like, okay, this is the reason why I shouldn't engage myself in those things.
Doctor, you think that there are some people who are technically virgins, there's never been a penetration, but they are sexually impure?
It's possible. Like I said earlier, sexual purity, it's not about having sex itself. I think it's having sex in the right way. You can be married and still be sexually impure. You can be married and then be sexually pure. The problem, like I usually say, the problem is people thinking that because they can handle because you can handle the devil, you can resist the devil, is no reason for you to invite him, because you're strong to resist the devil. It's no reason for you to give him
an invite.
Because you can handle him. If you put a cigarette in front of two people, one who smokes and one who does not smoke, it's not the same eagerness they have to the same cigarette.
Come on.
It's not the same eagerness they have to the same cigarette. The one who smokes has to resist more than the one who does not. It's the same thing. It's just, this is like a physical example. So because someone who but then what this means is someone who is having sex impurely has the probability, the more likelihood to fall back into that than someone who has not, someone who is pure from the beginning. So someone who, that is why I believe it's best to raise these things from
the base.
From the base. It's easier and it's better to grow them from children, from kids up, because for some of us, we are gone. It's difficult. It's difficult. But if you see the kids, it's best because now they have not really tested it. It's easier for them. Not for us who've been too much in the world. We know exactly what we are missing and exactly how fun it is, because it is fun. So that is it.
I mean, I don't want to keep the episode long, but I just want to say this, that you see, there is the fact that some of us could not keep it to give it to that one man is the more reason why we want to talk about it, so that this generation will pick it up and save it for that one man or that one woman. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say that we have to bring back the education and the talks about sexual purity, when to do it and how to do it right. We have to let our generation understand that the benefits of it outweighs the disadvantages of it, both physically and spiritually. You do not want to be connected to this thing about sex. We only think it's penetration and out and orgasm and we're out, but it is exchange of spirits, exchange of demons, exchange of a lot of things. But most of the time we just go in for the pleasure of it. Just in few words, I would like you to sum it up, telling this generation how important it is to stay clean. Ferdinand, how would you tell me, the little girl, girl in me, why is it so important for me to keep it?
As we talked about it, for sure, it's good to you are exchanging. You must make sure that you exchange with the right person, so you also can get it back. If you exchange it with someone else, exchange it with other person, you give something away that you will never get back, and you'll damage yourself.
Come on, Annie, talk to that little girl in me.
Yes.
I chose you because of your testimony. And I was like, oh God, there are still virgins. And I was so
I'm gonna.
So, I mean, you are an inspiration. You have no idea what that testimony is doing to one young girl seated there who listened to you. You are an inspiration. Talk to that little girl.
I first want to, before answering, I want to tell a funny story between my husband and I. That when we met and we were having the talk, because as a Christian girl, you need to let the person that you probably love or want to spend your life with, let the person know what your values and standards are. And we were talking and I said, yeah, for sure, I've never slept with someone and never kissed. And then he was like, so they are still virgins? And I was like, yeah, I'm one of them. So it's just funny because for me, I came from a different world and he came from a different world where it's like normal, let's say. So for me, it was like, I have to tell him, and my father also had to talk with him, with us both. So that also kind of liberated me because I was able to say what is important to me personally, and he understood and he was willing to go along with it. So that gave also strength to do it. So I want to speak to everyone there. Know that when God commands you to do something, it is for your own benefit. It's not for the Lord, it is just for your own benefit. You will not have any regret like, oh, why did I do this, or why did I not do this? But you have some joy and some peace that you know that you have not messed around, so there's nothing that someone can accuse you of something. So just know that it is for the future. It's not for your now, but for your future that you are doing that for.
Before I come to doctor, is it true that if you never do it before you get married, that you will not know how to do it?
Oh, please. You have enough time to learn. With the right person also,
Doc.
If I sit here and say there are no benefits to sex, it's not just a lie, it's a fallacy. There are many benefits to having sex. It's true, it's entirely true. There are health benefits. There are even it gives you some hormones that serotonin. It makes you happy. All these things are true. But however, for how long? However, to what end? For example, when I was 18 years old, I used to have hypertension. Yeah. So one of the things the doctor asked me to do then was have sex because it does help. Really, I would not go into when I was 18 because I just got into medical school. I didn't used to read before, so it was overwhelming. The books, everything. So it got me sick. So one of the things the doctor said then was, you should have more sex, and there is a reason he's saying it because he's learned. But to what end? To what is the real gain? What is the tangible gain in it? I am telling you from experience because up until now I'm not a kid. I've done so many things, and I can tell you it is worth it to look back and be like,
I shouldn't have done it.
There are a lot of things that I shouldn't have done. There are a lot of things that are not worth it. And you only realize this at the end. So if I'm telling you, it's to save you that thought process. At the end, with the right person, it's magical. But if you do it too much and you don't meet people who match that, your lifestyle's energy, you put yourself at risk of divorce, at risk of not being completely, not getting what you want, what you're used to. But because you've been wild, you've done things, and that is what now becomes your pleasure. And when you now be with someone you should be with for the rest of your life, you're not meeting up to that pleasure, and you seek that pleasure somewhere else. And at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It won't be worth it.
I'm done. I'm done. I mean, you've heard from one that has experienced it and is telling you that it's not worth it. I can tell you, you have to do it with the right person at the right time, and it will be worth waiting. It will be worth waiting. Young ladies and young men, there's nothing wrong with keeping yourself. You are not outdated. You will not stay like that till the end or till Christ comes. Your life will be beautiful. Your life, Anita, I see every time, and I just love this couple. I can see that they are enjoying marriage. So if you want to have the peace of mind, not having to think about something you did, some pleasure you had, not having to compare nobody with nobody, stay clean to yourself. I want to know what you think in the comment section. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I did this with Dr. Franklin, Mrs. Veltez, and my brother Ferdinand. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.
Purchase your tracks today.